Today we start our new video series evaluating business Momo Inc. Originally I wanted to do just one video, but then I understood the scope is so big that I decided to divide it into multiple videos. Part number 1, understanding of the business industry. And in this given case, understanding the business industry for Momo Inc. So where are the Momo Inc. main revenue sources are coming from? The main part, 65%, comes from video live streaming, where cute ladies talking with audience, playing social games. It's a entertaining socialization. let's call it like that. And this 35% of that comes from value-added service, pretty straightforward. You have a subscription for dating apps. Momo Inc. has 2 apps, Momo Inc. and Tantan. They also have a new product, but we will discuss this later. So you're basically paying for additional swipes or boost to your profile, any small things and features like that. Let's start by analyzing business environment for Momo Inc. Who are the main competition for Momo Inc.? And let's start with the video streaming service. The main competitors in video streaming service for Momo Inc. are Tencent, IQIY, which I think was acquired by Weibo. Then you have Youku. I will post names on the screen. Youku, I think, is about to step into joint venture with Hoya, which is who is live game streaming platform, and Bilibili is very similar to YouTube, but from China. Another few competitors which are not directly in the same field but do something similar, they do small videos, are obvious and known to everyone, TikTok. And big competitor of TikTok in China is Kuaishou, who does basically the same thing and very popular in China but not so popular in the rest of the world as TikTok. And last but not least, Inke. Inke does something very similar to Momo Inc. They do streaming and dating service on the same platform. A few words about video streaming. All of those platforms are very similar to Momo Inc. They do a similar entertainment thing, but Momo is more dating oriented. The same similarity shared with Inke Ltd. And we will dive into those businesses a little in the maybe next part. For now, let's switch to another part, which is value-added service. And this is specifically dating market industry. Let's glance over the dating market. I will post names of the dating competitors on the screen. Let's just go through some of them. First of all, Momo and Tantan are the 2 biggest dating apps in China. To mention that app Hetzy also belongs to Momo, and it's a voice-based dating service in China, which is quite popular, gains some user base, definitely worth mentioning. Worth mentioning name called Soul. It's even more popular right now by number of downloads, according to Sensor Tower, a database, than Tantan and Momo. So they gain big popularity. They also one of the top apps by revenue on the social media market in China. Definitely one of the potential competitors. Currently, company is private, so I don't have access to their figures, but I know that they spend big portion of their revenue on marketing in order to promote the app, which you would expect from the business at this stage, to not make any profit, but basically focus on gaining traction with the user base. They are not direct competitor of Tantan and Momo. Why? Because they want to distance themselves from dating. They want to represent themselves more as a social app rather than dating app. So it's not something what would directly impact Momo and Tantan, but it's of course taking some user base from Momo and Tantan. To say about Seoul, they not focused on the appearances. They don't show photos of the people you can connect with, but rather they connect people by their interests. And you can use avatar, and you can also use audio or video chat rooms where you can talk with people, but your face will be covered. So people will not be able to see. This app is particularly attractive currently among the youngest generations before 18 years old. And that's where it gets the most of its traction. I don't have anything specific to say about the app you do. I didn't find any information I could share with you, so we just leave it at that for now. But I know that they don't have a particularly high user base at this point, so they are not serious competitor to Momo and Tantan at this point of time. Jimo is another app worth mentioning. Since 2019, it belongs to Inke Ltd. As a part of their growth strategy, they acquired this app. This app is interest-based, but also has a dating features. So it's also not directly dating service, but rather interest linking service. At the same time, you can swipe people as in Tinder and Tantan and find someone you like. Zhenai is a special one. This is a quite old dating service in China, and now they also app-based. It's where you have a professional matchmaker. You don't find a couple yourself, but you fill out the form where you describe yourself and talk about your interests, and then professional matchmaker find you a couple who would be interested, who would have the similar interests, or matchmaker would think that it's a good fit to the person. So this is very specific, and it's not romantic relationship oriented, but rather marriage oriented. Now let's talk about where Momo and Tantan represented. Momo is mainly local Chinese app, and Tantan is more international one. So I will show you the international scope of Tantan. I will post it on the screen as well. The main, of course, again, China is the main place where Tantan is popular. Then, of course, it's quite popular in multiple Asian countries, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand. They are also quite popular in some African countries, and somewhere in the bottom of the list are Canada, somewhere near the bottom are Australia. So that's the main countries where it's currently developing. It's of course worth mentioning India, because India has a high population, and having presence there is quite beneficial for Tantan. The next interesting piece of information I would like to discuss about the dating market are the distribution or the target group of social dating apps by their age. I will post it on the screen. So the interesting thing here that dating services are mainly used by people between 26 and 29 years old, 46%. It's significantly lower for people between 22 and 25, and it's also slides down significantly between 30 and 34 and further. This statistics taken from site Statista. I couldn't check the background source for this information because you need to have a paid service in order to do that. So I will take it as it is for now as a basis for our discussion. So if I take this as a true statement that people between 26 and 29 are the main target group, and then we will see in the next few slides that demographic in Asia, particularly in South Korea, in China, in Malaysia and Taiwan, are sloping down. The next 5 years showing significant demographic slope for the dating industry. Baby boomers are past the age where they are the most active on the dating market, and the newcomers are in much lesser numbers. So that's a very interesting demographic fact you need to consider when investing in dating industry. Especially in China, you will see demographics are sloping down significantly, and the baby boomers are exceeding 30 years old, which is according to statistics which we checked earlier, should be negative for dating industry. Let's consider a few other facts. Despite the fact that demographics is unfavorable for the dating market and industry right now, there are a lot of newcomers who almost 100% use the internet, and therefore user internet penetration rate in China increased significantly, especially in the times of COVID. That's I will put again slides on the screen. That's a very important factor, that you will have a larger user base in the future compared to the older generation. Next important factor to consider is GDP per capita. So the wealth per person in Asia growing substantially, and I will show it again on the slides. You can see on the screen. It's a huge increase in the wealth in the Asian countries. It also will drive culture. It will drive people to be more self-oriented and self-indulgent. And of course, it increases the revenue per user. You can get more per user than before, because people are just earning more money, and you can increase your prices without losing the customers. Another factor to consider, that number of marriages in China are going down and number of divorces in China going up. That will affect how many people are interested in romantic relationship rather than serious relationship, and how many partners they will change before they find this one they want to stay for the rest of their life with. At least there will be a lot of men in China who will not have female counterpart in the next 20 years. It's a very important factor. So a lot of men will just simply will not be able to find a wife in China. It's historically such that in China people were prefer to have a male son who would be able to work in the farm, and therefore they were doing abortions. They even were abandoning babies who were females. And now they have this huge gap of around 30 million, if I remember correctly, men who don't have a female counterpart and basically will not be able to find a wife. So they need to fill the gap. They will want to have social interaction, and those social interaction can be found in dating apps or video streaming services. To conclude this part, there are three main points. Dating market, we have its negatives with the demographics, but positives with the cultural shift. We have the revenue per user growth expected in the future as a GDP per capita will increase. And the competition, even though Momo and Tantan occupy their special niche and they have their certain mode, this mode is not that big. And a lot of apps and a lot of companies will want to enter this market, and they will cannibalize portion of the user base of Momo and Tantan. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next part. Bye bye.